put a chick in it, make her gay!
Now, over the foreshadowing, I'm not going to be over in denial, feeling like I'm not going the political route, because any source of my opinion that's going to be against anybody else's is always going to be the source of something political, especially when it comes to making my own opinion. Marvel just cannot make female protagonists. And even when it's retconning the original source material that they're trying to outlet to try to force the narrative to a different demographic of people that just are not interested in comic book heroes, then they lose money. And then niching it and already trying to neglect the crowd that they're already trying to still keep is losing them more money. We're seeing that with how the Echo series went, how the She-Hulk series went. Whenever they're trying to outsource to the Marvels, and then they're already trying to villainize a demographic that's even getting them more money, like the male demographic that cares about the Marvel Universe. And it sucks when you're already trying to niche and villainize even like women being, niched out, being empowered, even though we're already supporting superheroes. It's the silliest thing when you think that a female lawyer that can turn into a hulking monster dealing with her own personal problems is something that kids can relate to. That she's whoring herself out instead of the femme fatale female She-Hulk. That sounds redundant, but you get what I'm saying. There's nothing relatable that much about comic heroes unless we're outsourcing it over to a story that doesn't just suit over an individual. And that goes to the same thing involving the serial killing, psychological, insane person that Echo is, that's a Native American, unattractive, with a peg leg, that's also death. And then we're outsourcing this out to just feeling the empowerment of women. Like, there hasn't been female superheroes that you guys haven't had for centuries, and yet you guys are losing more money outsourcing the niche, and then you guys are like, oh, we're not making profits off this. It's the same thing with even the Madam Web series. Having the whole thing of superhero web women with the origins of Madam Web, and you guys can't even make a good movie out of this. No one cares about the representation. We just care if the content's good enough to even be worth our attention. Like, do people are even going to give over the headlines that that Aang from The Last Airbender is black, or we just care that the movie's going to be this as good as I know it's a live action series, chill. If the live action content is going to be as good as the animated content that has been critically acclaimed for the last 2 decades. And just Marvel, Disney just correlating the audience of how they profited over having Disney princesses that really related to young ladies, to now trying to make these girl boss protagonists that not even women want to watch, are just not going to be profitable. And watch them go down to reality. Because let me tell you something. If Deadpool flops, the company folds. Because Deadpool is where the real money is. Not the Marvels, not Echo, not She-Hulk. And that's nothing disrespectful, but we're just minimizing the... We're just trying to nicheify something that's already not profitable, and then you greenlit it, and then you get surprised that it doesn't make you guys money. And if you guys actually promoted it over to the source of the character having a different way of going of things than how the Avengers go of things, how Spider-Man goes of things. Instead of her being female, different skin color, possibly with a disability, or have one dimension of relatability, you're already nicheifying it, and then you guys pull the whole Velma thing that you're villainizing a section of people that haven't even done anything to you. That's why there's like a major go fuck yourself. Why I think I didn't continue the series over with Echo because barely anybody heard of it. Nobody cares about it. And the promotion that you guys even had about it is that the bitch is deaf. And even the character Echo isn't really that interesting to begin with, except the whole spiritual crap with the wooden Native American alien crap. Her manipulating majority of her own family members. Even returning out of New York, she outsources herself to manipulate family members and into utilizing them for her own vengeance trip and killing guys not even knowing that Kingpin was dead to begin with. And the only reason why this even garnered any traction of a conversation with the Marvel fans was because this had the same relation to Kingpin and Deadpool, a series that people actually care about. So, don't give me this crap that we're trying to, like, neglect the female superheroes. And overall, female demographic don't care about comic characters like that. I'm not saying that they're in a female nerd demographic. There's just a minority of it. And when you're trying to profit over the minority, you're going to get minor profit. That stinks. But I think First Take is doing higher ratings than SportsCenter. SportsCenter can go over a variety of stuff. But I'm sure more viewership is going to go over to talk about what LeBron is taking a shit. LeBron taking a shit and possibly said a trade in the middle of a phone call than what the Dodgers did in back-to-back-to-back games against the Angels. Just saying. But that's how it is. Your female protagonists you write are crap. And they'll never be as popular as Phase 1 to 4 of Marvel. And just the primordial plot lines that you guys have even retconning to create your own stories ain't doing any justice to the female characters to begin with. And you guys are probably not even getting the right casts. And yes, being attractive is one of those things. No little girl wants to be inspired by a 5 out of 10. Why you think Zendaya is getting all the headlines and not the chick that recently played Echo? You're not getting the woman who played Captain Marvel to do headlines. People still want Scarlett Johansson. That's another fact. Your female protags are mid when it comes to the looks department. Nobody wants to profit off that. No young lady wants a doll of Echo. You get the disabled Native American mess that shows no emotion off her, even her facial expressions. Because she's already deaf. Let her be expressionful. She's a human being. Let her have her own depictive emotions. Act like a character. She's a comic book character. It's okay to behave over the top. Have her own emotions. Outsource her any way you can to be a character. She's still a comic book character. Even Thor is a fish out of water. He's buff. He's crazy. He acts outrageous because he's outside of the realm of being an Earthling. Tony Stark is literally a billionaire playboy philanthropist. He's a genius. He's everything a kid wants to be. Nobody wants to be like Captain Marvel. Because she's just a woman. I think you belong in the cockpit. Men. Like, that's the type of depictive characters you have for these women. And it's either they hate men, they're manipulative, they're unlikable, unless they're Miss Marvel, that they're just a simplistic kid that has a likable personality. While the adult female characters, unless they're Scarlett Johansson, nobody wants to deal with majority of the female characters outside of, I guess, Zuri from Black Panther until Black Panther 2. Either than them being overpowered, there's no humanistic flaw or other character traits that got them this way. The only Marvel movies I'm excited to even watch are male protags, or just an entire group. There hasn't been a decent MCU movie to even watch since the last Guardians of the Galaxy film. And Deadpool 3 is coming out with Wolverine. Who doesn't want to see Hugh Jackman take up Wolverine again? There's going to be also the X-Men 97 You think people are not going to at least get their nostalgia goggles on to watch that? Get with the program. It's either to pick the pie, use the actual source material, spread out more variety to make your women more likable in your series, or just retcon them in general, or just focus on the bigger movies that are going to make you more money, and you guys can take over more time to actually create a story that people are going to watch, because you guys are outsourcing, over glorifying the MCU license by now. People just want this to die, like the westerns of the world back in the day, when westerns were like, and kung fu movies were just oversaturating the media market. And right now, the only thing that's even giving any mass appeal for comic book series are video games and animated series. No one's giving a crap about the comic book films at this moment. And just outsourcing this out to your female characters, or just bringing over salt to the wound, because you guys can't just write them right. Because you're just doing stuff that are not even necessary for them to even appeal. Having them go over a struggle when they really don't even have to. And when you think that's all there is to just fit over your narrative and not even make them worth the depth they even conversate about, they're not making any money to begin with. That's all there is to talk about over what the director wants to do to make them the narrative instead of put more depth into the character. So that's all I got to put over to this subject. If you guys think differently, comment down in the comment section below. Don't know when this upload is coming because I really don't have this datably planned. But we'll see further on. That's it for me. Thanks for watching.